Hi, my name's Sophia Hotung, and today I'm going to be walking you through the video of me making the Hong Konger of Campbell's Troupe. What Procreate does that's really handy is you can do a time-lapse replay of you making it. So as you can see here, I've got the date of the original New Yorker, and you can see I've traced it out a little bit, and now I'm building the Helena May, which is the building you see in the final piece, on top of the original. Usually it's a case, usually I have the problem of it looks too similar to the New Yorker, and I'm always worried that people will think I'm plagiarizing. But with this one, actually, I think this looks very different from Cleaning the Brownstone, which is the original New Yorker. As you can see here, I've sketched out a really, really basic trace, just like squares and rectangles. And now I'm going in with this detail where if I zoom in, you can see I'm using like a fine tip pen and, oh, got a little shading going on now. But I'm trying to detail out this very, very basic shell I've done in pencil. So there's a little bit of tracing involved, but then with all the tracing comes a little bit more decoration. You can see in the roof that I'm going for little bumps. Where are we now? Half this is a game of trying to find where I go. You can see I flit around a lot. If I zoom out, you can see that I started down here, now I'm up on the roof. It's not that I get bored easily, but I do like being able to cover the whole piece of paper with a general idea rather than focus a lot of detail on one place and then move on to another. I like to do broad strokes and make sure everything's done before I move on to the next step of detail. So as you can see here now, I've gotten rid of the pencil and I'm just going in with details based on a picture I had of the Helena May. Now you can tell I haven't finished sketching, but now I'm bored and I'm adding color. It's very erratic what we do here in the studio. I've done the sky now. I remember the sky took a while to get right. As you can see, I'm not happy with the brush, and I've actually made the brush a bit fainter. I've lowered the opacity of it, made it more transparent, so I get this more layered thing. And then I smudged it. I used a smudge brush to get cloudy, patchy, slightly turbulent, but still nice blue sky. Oh, now we're doing the ground. This looks like the tarmac. I've done the tarmac, and what I do is I cover the whole canvas in a color, and then I'll use a clipping mask, which basically means I select that layer with the whole paint, with the paint everywhere. I select that, make it a clipping mask, and then anything under it, it just covers whatever I've drawn under. I don't know if that makes sense. If you use Procreate, it'll make sense to you. I can do a tutorial if you want, but I don't really do tutorials. Back to the print, you can see I'm doing some shading. I've never really done a lot of like hatch shading before in a Hong Konger, so this was a first for me. And what I do like to do, the reason I started these Hong Kongers was as exercises to learn how to draw. I saw it as an opportunity to learn from a series of different artists rather than picking one artist. And this one, I don't think the original actually had a lot of hatching, but I thought hatching, my dog's upset. I think hatching is a fun, interesting, beautiful way of sketching. So this is me trying it out. You can see I'm going for it there. So here come the balcony. I think my dog's literally going to bark for the rest of this video. I hope that's okay. I've got another dog right behind me who's scratching right now. Let's see if that makes it into the audio. Okay, back to the print. There's this little basement area. Oh, that dog's doing a big stretch. Lots of dogs here. Do you want to be in the video? Do you want to be in the video? Yeah? Oh, you can't see her and she's too big to carry. But she is a good dog. Okay, sorry, I'm getting distracted. Back to this. You can see I'm still doing hatching. This little basement bit, while we're waiting for me to get on with all this shading, I'll tell you the story of the Helena May and why it's so personal to me. I used to take ballet classes in the basement of the Helena May at a place called the Bateman School of Dance. And the head teacher there, Mrs. Joan Campbell, taught my mum ballet. She taught me, my sister, oh, you can see my dog now. And she's just this institution of ballet, I guess, in Hong Kong. And when you look at the final piece, there are ballerinas going up Garden Road, and that's because they're coming from dance class with Mrs. Campbell. And the title, Campbell's Troupe, is a pun on Campbell's soup, but also refers to Mrs. Campbell. Okay, enough of the story. Back to this. More hatching, more shading. I feel like interesting stuff is about to happen if we could just stop shading me from the past. But yeah, you can tell that I like to not stick with one thing. I know I've talked about this before, but the painting, you can see, comes to an end there because I wasn't sure if the balcony would begin or end in a certain place. And now I'm just trying to get all the shading done so I can start applying color to it. So along the edge here, hatching it. The closer they are together, the hatching obviously means the darker the shadow is. The further apart they are, the lighter the shadow. And I'm just trying to add some three-dimensionality with this right now along the sides of the building, because that sort of longer, taller part comes out a bit when you look at it in real life. I wonder if I should just shut up and let you watch this. It's very tedious when you think about it. Like, this is sped up, but usually what I'll do is I'll put a podcast on or I'll watch TV. Oh, you can see me making a mistake there. I'll watch TV and just hatch along. I prefer podcasts because I would rather look at the art I'm doing than look at the screen. Wow, my dog is really itchy. She sure is scratching and ruining my audio. But yeah, you can just see here. It gets more interesting when the color starts. Maybe it's just satisfying for me to shut up and you to just watch. Oh, I drew the Peak Tram. Okay, here's a little story. The Peak Tram, which is an ancient institution in Hong Kong, goes up from Garden Road, past the Helena May, and up all the way to the Peak. It used to be the only way to get to the Peak besides a rickshaw. Now we have cars and no rickshaws. But that's fun. I've also put like a sports centre here where they play a lot of badminton. I think there's something related to the Olympics and badminton there in 2008 when Beijing did the Olympics. Oh, good, we're adding colour now. So I've got a series of browns. I'm using, I can't remember what brush I used for this, but I wanted to use a bit of like a patchy brush. Oh, I guess I got rid of it. I made it slightly lighter. I think it was too dark before. But you can see I'm adding different shades of beige. It's a white building, but it's beige because of the pollution. And now we're going in with a darker shade, which is probably going to function, in like the shadowed bits of the windows and the alcoves and stuff like that. And you can see that the hatching has actually done a lot of the shading for me. Usually I'd have to use color to show darkness, but actually I'm using a block color and the hatching is going to provide depth for me. Here's an ochre-y, sort of greeny yellow that's going inside the balcony. There's some green elements as well. I can't actually remember if I put green elements in, but this part, this sort of archway, is usually green in real life. So let's see if I remembered that when I did this. I did have a photo to go off of, but I'm not sure if I remember it. I'm not liking this sort of green curry color. That's not right. I hope I fixed that. It's kind of fun looking back on this weeks after I've made it because I don't remember any of this. Oh, good. I've gotten rid of that green curry color. No offense to green curry. Now I'm doing the trees. This is Hong Kong Park in the background. Hong Kong Park is right behind the Helena May, across the tram the tram tracks. So as you can see here, oh, here comes the green. So I've seemed to have created a layer where it's the green of Hong Kong Park, but also the green elements of the Helena May. Yeah, there we go. So I've done the green there, stayed true to that. Green windows. Now I've got some sort of grey going on. But you can see with all of this, like I said, I cover the whole canvas. Then I use clipping masks to only have the colour appear where I need it. And I'll usually use a studio pen in white to do the clipping masks layer underneath. If that makes no sense to you, I'm sorry. I don't really know how to describe it. It's one of those things that makes more sense if I would show you. Okay, let's see. Where are we now? We seem to have done the whole building. There are some aircon units and balconies that still need colour. But we're working on that. Ooh, we've got a little bit of a grey. Here it comes. Yeah, there we go. I think I've got like some shading to do on the inside bits. My dog is very itchy and stretchy. Can I help you? Okay. Oh, you're cute. If only people could see you and see how cute you are. Right, back to this. Oh, now we're starting with some ballerinas, I think. Yeah, I just removed the whole layer of oh, shaky girl. I removed the whole layer of the Helena May just to focus on drawing ballerinas. I can scale them later. That's the great thing about Procreate. You can make things bigger and smaller afterwards. So I think what I've done is I've made a layer, put white on it, made the transparency a little bit less than 100%, or opacity less than 100%. And by doing that, I'm able to see where the ballerinas can be placed and therefore how many I need and what's proportional without the whole background distracting me too much. That's why it's slightly faded. So I'm drawing ballerinas. I wanted to draw ballerinas doing like unladylike things, like running and jogging. I think one has gum stuck to her foot, so I've done that. So as you can see, I've done a clipping mask of pink, put them all in tutus. We didn't actually wear tutus. I remember just wearing this baby pink leotard, and then when you got older, you were allowed a navy blue leotard. But I like the contrast of the green and the greys with the hot pink and the magentas. So that's it. That's the whole thing. Wow, that went by really quickly all of a sudden. I feel like we were waiting there, and now it's done. But that's Campbell's Troupe. It's a nostalgic one for me. I have a very personal connection to it. And other people who I did ballet school with or who did study under Joan Campbell really like it as well, because it's just such a weird niche hobby that we all had, but we all resonate with. I hope you like this video. You can buy Campbell's Troupe. It is available on my website, sophiahotung.com. You can also follow me on Instagram, where I have a shop as well, at Sophia Hotung. Thanks for watching.